Yes, guys and girls, welcome back to Stretford Paddock. My name is Jordan as Manchester United beat Aston Villa 1-0 in the FA Cup third round and progressed to face Middlesbrough. But that scoreline tells you nothing about the performance. Manchester United couldn't string 4 passes together at a time for the whole 90 minutes of the game. Apart from the goal that they scored, I think he was quite lucky to get a rebound off a set piece or a corner, I think it was. Fred's put in a decent ball for once in a Manchester United shirt, and Scott McTominay's got his head on it, and I think he was man of the match. But again, it wasn't difficult to win that accolade because some of the Manchester United players today were absolutely awful. Anthony Elanga, I think, did more for United in a 7-minute cameo off the bench for Marcus Rashford than anyone in the entire game. Elanga, I think, in those 7 minutes showed why he should be starting against Villa in the Premier League and continually, because Marcus Rashford, I think Ralph Rangnick has tried to play him into form, sort of what we used to berate Ollie for doing, and it's just not worked. Rashford, he had little sparks at the start of the game where he looks like he was right, okay, get a goal, he might get back into his form, but then a little sloppy on the ball, decision making. And it wasn't just him. I'm not just going to single out Rashford. It was absolutely everybody, especially the passing, like I mentioned before. No one could string 4 passes together. Fred, apart from the assist in the game, he was absolutely pants. He was getting bodied again in the midfield by the likes of Emiliano Buendia and players of that calibre. Jacob Ramsey, he was getting beat to the ball by these midfielders who he should not be losing 1v1 battles against. Scott McTominay was pinging the ball okay the first 15-20 minutes of the game, but apart from that, again, he was bang average at best, and he still got man of the match for the goal. Look, I think Manchester United were very, very, very lucky to come out of that game, 1 with a clean sheet, 2 qualifying for the actual next round of the FA Cup. They could have scored 3 goals in that first half. One where Ollie Watkins is the crossbar after Victor Lindelof did something silly trying to control the ball down, and 2 chances where it was flashed across the goal and they just missed out. In the second half, they had 2 disallowed goals, 1 for offside, 1 for VAR, which was pretty funny seeing the Villa fans celebrating and then being brought straight back down to earth because they were allowed to be fair, but it were also knobheads as well. But again, we were very, very lucky, I think, to come out of that game as victors. And I mean, as Middlesbrough awaited in the FA Cup 4th round, I honestly think they will be looking forward to this game more than anything, seeing how poor we were with the names on the pitch. Even then, Bruno, I think, was okay, nothing special, but the reaction from the crowd when he got took off, it's going to raise questions about what direction are we going in under an interim manager who's got less than 6 months now to implement a different style. Then who else is going to come in? Pochettino, Ten Hag, because they're going to implement something different. And if these players can't judge and learn from Ralph Rangnick, who was one of the professors of football, what they're going to do under a new manager. He changed the formation to a 4-2-3-1 tonight at the start of the game after pushing the 4-2-2, and he switched it straight away in the FA Cup. The players have had a week off, and they're still performing like that. God only knows what's going to happen. I thought I'd bring a little bit of luck, considering my first game at Old Trafford was 15 years ago in this exact competition, in this exact round, against these exact opponents. The only 2 positive things of the game was that Steven Gerrard got fuck all at Old Trafford and United progressed to the next round of the FA Cup. I don't know, you tell me. We're there with Zayan. What do you make of that? Because we were pretty rubbish, weren't we, considering we won 1-0?
I think in the first half we were playing the ball well in some areas, but I think towards the second half, especially during that 60th minute, getting towards the end of the game, you're thinking that Aston Villa are going to score soon. They did score twice, but they were both disallowed. But I think we were really scraped through the game there. I don't think that we were good enough in certain parts of the game. There were spells where we were passing the ball well, getting out wide to Rashford and creating chances, but a lot of the time we were sloppy with the play, losing the ball, and in that final third I think we're just missing that sort of spark, because if you think about it, we didn't really have that many chances. Thinking that we meant to be dominating a game, we're at home and we're playing Aston Villa and we should be the favourites, but thinking about it, they deserve to win the game.
They did, didn't they? They had 2 disallowed goals for offside and VAR. They could have scored 3 in the first half, I think, when we were 1-0 up. What's Rangnick got to change now to get them assured in the midfield, especially because they've had a week off. They've come back and they couldn't string 4 passes together apart from the goal for 90 minutes.
I think that is you can't really do much. You can't really play Donny because we could play him in the cam position, but I think in that game he was playing more of Ollie's formation in a 4-2-3-1, and if you're going to drop Bruno and it doesn't work out, question will be raised over Ragnick. So I think you have to, even though we might not like it, we still have to stick with Fred because he's the only real recognised DM with McTominay, and I think even though we disagree with it, you still have to play McFred. So even though we're criticising Ragnick or Ollie at the time for playing Fred, I think we just have to do it.
What do you think, if we have any transfer activity at all, where do we need to strengthen?
I think we need to definitely strengthen the midfield and probably try and get a centre-back that's going to be a top quality centre-back to play with Varane. Lindelof is a top centre-back. Harry Maguire's not been quite what he was at Leicester at the club. And I think that with Varane, he just needs someone with him because I think that Telles and Dalot over time, I think, could develop into two tops full-backs. We just need to strengthen the DMs and we've got a very strong attack.
What names are in your mind for DMs?
Yeah, probably Declan Rice or players like Zakaria, who's been doing well for Mönchengladbach, scoring good goals and holding the defence down. And Declan Rice has been dispossessed once in I think about 4 games. So I think that players like them is someone that we need. That's someone that's going to dictate the game. And when we've got the backs against the wall, they're going to be the ones that are going to be fighting.
Yeah. Well, we've now got Middlesbrough in the 4th round. We found out yesterday. Are you looking forward to that game? I mean, now Ryan said before he hopes that we don't come into the game with sort of arrogance. Are we worried against Middlesbrough? Is that what it's come to?
I think that Middlesbrough will come here fighting. They've got nothing to lose. They're coming here away, and I think that if we play that we played today, I think Middlesbrough will be happy with how we played today. They'll be licking their lips with this performance because if they can scrape 1 goal and sit 11 men behind the ball, I don't think we could score.
Yeah, 100%. That's one.